Prabhupada ki jai. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Govinda. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Govinda, Hari Hari. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyadeskatarine Namaste Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyadeskatarine Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma Shri Guru Charan Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma Bando Mui Savadhan Mate Bando Mui Savadhan Jahara Prasade Bhai He Bhavatori Ajay Jahara Prasade Bhai Bhavatoriya Jai Krishna Prapti Hoy Jahate Krishna Prapti Hoy Jahate Padma Vakya Sritete Koriya Ekya Aikya Guru Mukha Padmakya Arana Kore Ho Mane Asha Arana Kore Ho Asha Arana Kore Ho Mane Asha Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adhama Janara Bandhu Guru Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Koriya Mukha Padma Vakya Arana Kori Ho Mane Asha Next line Next line Arana Kori Ho Mane Asha Shri Guru Charane Rati Aise Uttama Gati Shri Guru Shri Guru Charane Rati Aise Uttama Gati Shri Guru Charane Je Prasade Pure Sarva Asha Je Prasade Pure Sarva Je Prasade Pure Sarva Asha Sakudan Dilo Se Janme Janme Prabhu Se Sakudan Dilo Se Janme Janme Prabhu Se Divigyan Vede Prakashito Divigyan Vede Prakashito Prema Bhakti Jaha Hoite Avidya Vinasha Jati Prema Bhakti Prema Bhakti Jaha Hoite Avidya Vinasha Jati Mere Gaya Hara Charito Mere Gaya Hara Charito Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adhama Janar Bandhu Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adhama Janara Bandhu Shri Guru Karuna Lokana Lokera Jivana Srila Prabhupada Lokera Jivana Oh ha ha Prabhu Goro Doya Deho More Pada Chaya Prabhu पतित पवना Prabhupada Loila Karana Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Vishwapad Paramhamsa Parivrajakacarya Shtotra Sata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki ISKCON Sansthapak Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Vishwapad Paramhamsa Parivrajakacarya Shtotra Sata Shri Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरि गोवर्धन की श्री श्री वृंदावन धाम की मथुरा धाम की मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की गंगामय यमुनामय की भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की संकीर्तन यज्ञ की सामवेद भक्त वृंद की all glorious to the assembled devotees, all glorious to the assembled devotees, all glorious to the assembled devotees, all glorious to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyareshatari. Srila Prabhupada ki. The lotus feet of our spiritual master are the only by which we can attain to devotional service.
I belong to his lotus feet, the great awe and reverence. By his grace, one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. My wish is to have my consciousness purified by the words emanating from his lotus mouth. Attachment to his lotus feet is a perfection that fulfills all desires. He opens my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord, birth after birth. From him ecstatic prema emanates, by him ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scripture sings of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor and Lord and master of the devotees. O Master, please be merciful unto us. Give us the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the three worlds. We take shelter at your lotus feet. You are the safe of the most fallen. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So Hare Krishna, we can all please come in front of the temple room. We'll go for Tulsi Aarti now. So you come as close as possible. I'll still keep some distance. Brindaye Tulsi Divyaye Priyaye Kesava Sacha Vishnu Bhakti Paradevi Sachavatai Namo Namah. Brindaye Tulsi Divyaye Priyaye Kesava Sacha Vishnu Bhakti Paradevi Sachavatai Namo Namah. Brindaye Tulsi Divyaye Priyaye Kesava Sacha Vishnu Bhakti Paradevi Sachavatai Namo Namah. Srimati Bhanidev Tulsidev Maharani ki jai.
Namo Namaha Tulasi Krishna Preyasi Namo Namaha Radha Krishna Seva Pavo Veya Vilasi Ye Tumhara Sharanalo Paravancha Purna Hoy Kripa Kore Korotare Vrindavanavasi Vilas Kunja Diyo Krishna dasi ko ye jina mora ho. Shri Radha Govinda Premi Saraye Namaste. Shri Radha Govinda Premi Saraye Namaste. Kani cha papani brahmattari kani cha tani tani pranashante parikshana pare pare. Yani kani cha papani brahmattari kani cha tani tani pranashante parikshana pare pare. Yani kani cha papani brahmattari kani cha tani tani pranashante parikshana pare pare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Vrinda Devi, Jaya Vrinda Devi. Jaya Tulsi Maharani, Jaya Tulsi Maharani, Jaya Tulsi Maharani. Tulsi Devi Maharani ki jai. वृंदाय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य च विष्णु भक्ति परे देवी सत्यवते नमो नमः वृंदाय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य च विष्णु भक्ति परे देवी सत्यवते नमो नमः वृंदाय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य च विष्णु भक्ति परे देवी सत्यवते नमो नमः Tulsi Devi Maharani ki jai. O Tulsi, beloved of Krishna, I bow down before you again and again. My desire is to obtain the service of Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. Whoever takes shelter of you has his wishes fulfilled. Bestowing your mercy on him, you make him a resident of Vrindavan. My desire is that you also grant me the resident in the pleasure groves of Sri Vrindavan Dham. Thus, within my vision, I will always behold the beautiful pastimes of Radha and Krishna. I beg you to make me the follower called damsels of Raj. Please give me the privilege of devotional service and make me your own maid servant. This very fallen and lowly servant of Krishna prays, may I always swim in the love of Sri Radha and Govinda. Tulsi Devi Maharani ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashnate Deshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare everybody together. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Rama
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody loudly together. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So this morning we want to welcome you here as today is Sunday. We're here at Srila Prabhupada's famous Sunday Love Feast, and today is very special because we are in the mood of preparing for Maha Shivratri tomorrow, and today's program will be gearing up our consciousness. It'll be a pre-Shivratri satsang program. So this is what we're in for the next hour and a half, 2 hours or so.
Hare Krishna.
Hare.
So before His Holiness Guru Prasad Swami comes on for the lecture, we'll try to sing Sri Shivashtakam. This is written by Sri Murari Gupta, one of the associates of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya is, for those of you who do not know, on our altar we have two deities. The one on our right is Lord Chaitanya. Of course, he had many associates. One of those associates is Murari Gupta, who happens to be he is an incarnation of Lord Hanuman in the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. So we'll attempt to sing this Ashtakam. The translation is as follows. I perpetually offer obeisances unto you, the Lord of the 30 primal Devas, who are the original father of the created beings, whose character is gracious, upon whose head, which is crested by the sickle moon, the Ganga springs, and who are the festival for the eyes of Gauri, the fair goddess. I offer my obeisances to you, who resemble a moon of molten gold, who are dressed in garments colored like a group of budding blue lotuses or lustrous rain clouds, who bestow the most desirable boon to your devotees by your delightful dancing, who after shelter to those who seek to become one with the transcendental effulgence of Godhead, and whose flag bears the image of a bull. Sorry, got confused on the last sentence. Who bestow the most desirable boon to your devotees by your delightful dancing, who offer shelter to those who seek to become one with the transcendental effulgence of Godhead, and whose flag bears the image of a bull. I offer my obeisances to you, who dispel darkness with your three eyes, the moon, the sun, and the fire, and thus cause auspiciousness for all living entities of the universe, and whose potency easily defeats thousands of moons and suns. I offer my obeisances to you, whose form is brilliantly illuminated by jewels of Ananta Deva, the king of snakes, who possesses divine potencies and are clothed in a tiger skin, who stands in the midst of a 1,000-petaled lotus, and whose 2 arms are adorned by lustrous bangles. I offer my obeisances to you, who bestow happiness to your servitors, as you pour upon them the liquid nectar flowing from your reddish lotus feet, which upon charming ankle bells ring. Obeisances unto you, who are adorned by the abundance of gems, please endow me today with the pure love for Sri Hari. O Sri Rama, O Govinda, O Mukunda, O Shauri, O Sri Krishna, O Narayana, O Vasudeva, I offer my obeisances unto you, Sri Shiva, who are the monarch ruling over all the bee-like devotees who are mad to drink the nectar of these and other innumerable names of Lord Hari, and who thus destroys all grief. I offer my respectful obeisances to you, Sri Shiva, who are forever inquired of confidentially by Sri Narada and other great sages, who very easily bestows boons upon them, who bestow the happiness of Hari Bhakti to those who seek boons of you, who thereby create auspiciousness and are thus the guru of everyone. I offer my obeisances to you, who are the festival of auspiciousness for the eyes of Sri Gauri, who are the Lord of our life energy, who bestow rasa and are expert in forever singing songs with the eagerness of the pastimes of Lord Gauranga and Govinda. नमो नमस्ते त्रिदशेश्वराय भूतादिनाथाय मृदाय नित्यं गङ्गातरङ्गोत्थितबालचन्द्र चूदाय गौरे नयनोत्सवाय सुताप्तचामिकरचन्द्रनीला पद्मप्रवालाम्बुदकान्तिवस्त्रे सुनृत्यशृङ्गेष्ववर कैवल्यनाथाय वृषध्वजाय सुधांशुसुराग्निविलोचनेन तमो विदेते जगतः शिवाय सहस्रशुभ्रांशु सहस्ररश्मि सहस्रसञ्जित्वरतेजसेस्तु नागेश्वरत्नोज्ज्वला विग्रहाय शुकदिव्या तेजसे सहस्रपत्रोपरि संस्थिताय वराङ्गदा मुक्तभुजद्वयाय शुनो पुराराञ्जितपादपद्मा क्षरच्छुधाभृत्या सुखप्रदाय विचित्ररत्नौघविभूषिताय प्रेमानमेवाद्य हरौ विदेहि श्रीराम गोविन्द मुकुन्द शौरे श्रीकृष्ण नारायण वासुदेव इत्यादि नामामृतपानमत्त भृङ्गादिपाय किल दुःखहन्त्रे श्रीनारदादेश ततं सुगोप्य जिज्ञासितायाशु वरप्रदाय तेभ्यो हरिर्भक्ति सुखप्रदाय शिवाय सर्वगुरवे नमः शिवाय सर्वगुरवे नमः शिवाय सर्वगुरवे नमः श्रीगौरी नेत्रोत्सवमङ्गलाय तत्प्राणनाथाय रसप्रदाय सदा समुत्कान्त गोविन्दलीला गानप्रवीणाय नमोऽस्तु तुभ्यम् एताच्छिव्याष्टकमद्भुतमहत् शृण्वन् हरिप्रेम लभेत शीघ्रं ज्ञानान् च विज्ञाम् अपूर्ववैभवं यो भावपूर्ण परमं समादरम् जय शिवा जय शिवा जय शिवा जय शिवा जय जय त्रिदशेश्वराय 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 श्री महेश्वर की जय। जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी गोपी जनवल्लभा जया गिरिवरधारी जया गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दना जया व्रज जनरञ्जना यमुनातीरावनचारी जया कुंज बिहारी जया कुंज बिहारी जया कुंज बिहारी जया कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. So for those of you who came late, we were saying earlier, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So those of you who came in a little late, we were saying that today is a pre-observance of Shivratri, pre-Shivratri celebration, and this morning we're going to continue. Already we have started with Guru Puja, worship of our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada, and then it was Tulsi Arti, followed by Kirtan, and then Sri Shiva Ashtakam. So we're going to continue this morning. There will be a special presentation by one of our GBC, one of our spiritual masters from this part of the region. It is His Holiness Guru Prasad Swami Maharaj. So I'll just give you a brief highlight of Maharaj, and then, so currently Maharaj is in Trinidad and he's given the presentation live at our temple in ISKCON Londonville, Shagwanas, and we are joining on Zoom. So His Holiness Guru Prasad Maharaj is a direct disciple of our founder Acharya, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and he would have joined many years ago, over 3 to 4 decades. He serves as an initiating spiritual master, and also he preaches, he travels and preaches in this part of the world, meaning Latin America, South America, Caribbean region, and also he serves on the GBC body of ISKCON, means the international body, the governing body commission, which is the highest authority in the Hare Krishna movement. So he serves as part of that committee, and he has responsibilities in these areas in South America, Latin America, Caribbean region. So very shortly we will be hearing from Maharaj. So I think Maharaj is on, so we will switch over to Maharaj's presentation. Afterwards, then we'll let you know. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Devotees from Shri Shri Radha Gopinath Mandir, can you please unmute your microphone on Zoom? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So we are kindly requesting of the Prabhu or Mataji who are on Zoom from Shri Shri Radha Gopinath Mandir, can you please unmute your Zoom microphone? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Jai Om Sita Bhagavad Gita Rashida Prabhupada Ki Jai Nityamida Vishnu Bhagavad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Thakur Prabhupada Ki Anantaputi Vaishnava Ki Ramacharya Shri Das Thakur Ki Hare Sri Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Radha Shri Gaur Shri Radha Krishna Govinda Shamunda Radha Kunta Giri Govardhan Ki Vrindavan Dham Ki Mayapur Dham Ki Gamgamai Ki Jamnamai Ki Jasi Devi Ki Bhakti Devi Ki Samadata Bhaktivinoda Ki Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Prihananda Ki Pitai Gaur Shri Ishwarapuri Chirupavamoksavi Ki Jai, Shri Ishwarapuri Ki Jai. All glory to thee, Sankirtis. All glory to thee, Sankirtis. All glory to thee, Sankirtis. All glory to Shri Guru Shri Krishna. So today is the very auspicious day, disappearance of Sri Madhavendra, Sri Ishwara. So I wanted to read one verse from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila chapter 9, text number 11, where Srila Prabhupada in his purport gives some outline of the life of Sri Ishwara. Shri Ishvara Puri Rupe Ankura Pushkaila Apane Chaitanya Mahastata Upajila. Translation. The seed of devotional service next fructified in the form of Shri Ishvara Puri. And then the gardener himself, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, became the main trunk of the tree of devotional service. Shri Ishvara Puri was a resident of Kumarahata, where there is now a railroad station known as Kamarahati. Nearby, there is also another station named Halisara, which belongs to the Eastern Railway that runs from the eastern section of Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami. Namaste Saraswati Devi Govardhana Jai Nirvishesha Shri Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Shivasari Govardhana Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Panchakam People seem to be able to chat down. One may wonder why does Prabhupada always put these Eastern Railway and so many kilometers from? The reason is so that we can go to these places. These are very special places. And of course, he's following in the footsteps of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. Now there may be highways. Just like first time I went to South India, I went by Chaitanya Charitamrita. I found many of the stations were different names. Some of them didn't stop there anymore. Anyway, did our best and finally got to all the places. So, just to comment a little bit on this verse, it says the devotional seed. The devotional seed, the storehouse of devotional service, is Sri Madhavendra Puri. He is a desire of devotional service. So, it's mentioned by Ravi Garner for Deepika that Madhavendra Puri is actually a Kalpavriksha. And another Kalpavriksha that sprouts from is Ishvara. That's why it says here that the devotional service, the seed, otherwise the big tree is Madhavendra Puri, and a smaller tree. Of course, he's not small like Krishna, but because he is the disciple of Madhavendra Puri, he's spoken of as a seedling. Ishvara Puri appeared in a Brahmin family and was the most beloved disciple, the most beloved Sri Madhavendra Puri. In the last portion of Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 8, verses 26-29, it is stated, Ishvara Puri Kari Shri Pada Sevana Swahasti Parinam Marjana Nirantara Krishna Nama Krishna Nama Krishna Nama Krishna Lila Sunaya Anu Chana Tushtahani Puri Tandre Kaila Alingana Bharati Krishna Tumhar Out Premadhana Sehati Ishvara Puri Pranera Saga. At the last stage of his life, Sri Madhavendra Puri became an invalid and was completely unable to move. And Sri Ishvara Puri so completely engaged himself in his service that he personally cleaned up his stool and urine. always chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and reminding Sri Madhavendra Puri about the pastimes of Lord Krishna in the last stage of his life. Ishvara Puri gave the best service among his disciples. Thus Madhavendra Puri, being very pleased with him, blessed him by saying, "My dear boy, I can only pray to Krishna that he will be pleased with you." So just a little comment on that. Sri Madhavendra Puri and any great acharya, even we see an example of Srila Prabhupada, sometimes they become invalid. So we become invalid because of our sinful activities. But he became invalid to give Ishvara Puri, to glorify Ishvara Puri. Srila Prabhupada apparently became invalid to allow all his disciples to enter into intimate relationship and show their surrender. By doing menial service, even cleaning the body, when one becomes invalid. I always recommend that all young devotees should follow this example and find a reverend elderly Vaishnava, especially when their body is not working so well, and serve them. At least serve them for 3 months, 6 months. Then you will understand what is coming in your future, and you won't be so bewildered by old age. Because we won't think that old age is something bad. We think it is our opportunity to fully dedicate myself to devotion. I recommend that. Instead of taking vacation and going to Disney World or some other place, take a vacation and do that kind of service, and you will learn very wonderful lessons about this material body. Not only did he say Krishna will be pleased with you, he said that you will develop the highest degree of love. Puri told Ishvara. Thus, Ishvara Puri, by the grace of his spiritual master, Sri Madhavendra Puri, became a great devotee in the ocean of love of God. Now, Ishvara Puri is a descendant from the spiritual world. But here Srila Prabhupada is emphasizing the parampara. Parampara is so important. We can't think the Guru is some figurehead that I get initiated and I don't come to the temple, I don't do service, and everyone comes give a little donation and say I'm chanting my rounds and that's it. No, that's not discipleship. That is spiritual manda or carelessness. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti states in his Guru Vastak prayer, Yasya Prasada Bhagavat Prasada, Yasya Prasada Nagati. By the mercy of the spiritual master.
Hare Krishna. So we want to apologize because, as you can see, the audio is not coming through clear, and therefore we would have loved to hear from Maharaj, but it doesn't make. Most of what is being said we cannot hear clearly audible. So in that way, we want to apologize, and we're going to continue here with some Gita recitation, and then we'll also read a little on the glories and the pastimes of Lord Shiva. So that will be it. And once again, we do apologize that we have to switch from Maharaj's class. Hare Krishna. So we're going to do the 12th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, and it's called Devotional Service. So we'll do invocation prayers. Everyone can please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we'll have the verses up on screen. It's the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. You can all follow along with us. Arjuna uvacha evam satata yuktaye bhaktastvam paryupasate ye chapyaksharam avyaktam tesham ke yoga vittamaha. Arjuna inquired, which are considered to be more perfect, those who are always properly engaged in your devotional service, or those who worship the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested? Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Mayyaveshamano ye mam nityayukta upasate shraddhaya parayopetas te me yukta tamamataha.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, those who fix their minds on my personal form and are always engaged in worshipping me with great and transcendental faith are considered by me to be most perfect.
Ye tvaksharam anirdesham avyaktam paryupasate sarvatra gamma chintyam cha kutastham achalam dhruvam saniyamendriya gramam sarvatra samabuddhaya te prapnuvanti mameva sarvabhutahite rataha.
But those who fully worship the unmanifested, that which lies beyond the perception of the senses, the all-pervading, inconceivable, unchanging, fixed, and immovable, the impersonal conception of the absolute truth, by controlling the various senses and being equally disposed to everyone, such persons, engage in the welfare of all, at last achieve me.
Kleshodhikatarastesham avyakta sakta chetasam avyakta hi gatir duhkam dehavadbhiravapyate.
For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied.
Yetu sarvani karmani mai sanyasya matparaha ananyenaiva yogena mam dhyayanta upasate teshamaham samudharta mrityu samsara sagarat bhavami nachirat partha maya veshita chetasam.
But those who worship me, giving up all their activities unto me, and being devoted to me without deviation, engage in devotional service, and always meditating upon me, having fixed their minds upon me, O son of Pritha, for them I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death.
Mayeva manadhatsva mai buddhim niveshaya nivasishyasi mayeva ata udhvam na samshaya.
Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always without a doubt.
Atha chittam samadhatum na shaknushi mai sthiram abhyasa yogena tato mamichaptum dhananjaya.
My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me.
Abhyasepi samarthosi matkarma paramo bhava madartham api karmani kurvan siddhim avapsyasi.
If you cannot practice the regulations of Bhakti Yoga, then just try to work for me, because by working for me, you will come to the perfect stage.
Athaitadapi shaktosi kartum madhyogam ashrita sarva karma phalatyagam tatah kuru yatatmavan.
If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated.
Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasar jnanadhyanam vishishyate dhyanat karma phalatyagas tatat tyagachantiranantaram.
If you cannot take to this practice, then engage yourself in the cultivation of knowledge. Better than knowledge, however, is meditation, and better than meditation is renunciation of the fruits of action. For by such renunciation, one can attain peace of mind.
Adveshta sarvabhutanam maitrah karuna eva cha nirmamo nirahankara samaduhka sukakshami. Santushta satatam yogi yatatma dridha nishchaya mayarpita mano buddhir yo madbhakta same priyaha.
One who is not envious, but is a kind friend to all living entities, who does not think himself a proprietor and is free from false ego, who is equal in both happiness and distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied, self-control, and engaged in devotional service with determination, his mind and intelligence fixed on me, such a devotee of mine is very dear to me.
Yasmano dvijate loko lokano dvijate chaya harsha marsha bhayo dvegair mukto yasacha me priyaha.
He by whom no one is put into difficulty, and who is not disturbed by anyone, who is equipoised in happiness and distress, fear and anxiety, is very dear to me.
Anapeksha shuchir daksha udasino gata vyataha sarvarambha parityagi yo madbhakta same priyaha.
My devotee, who is not dependent on the ordinary course of activities, who is pure, expert, without cares, free from all pains, and not striving for some result, is very dear to me.
Yo na hrishyati na dveshti na shochati na kankshati shubha shubha parityagi bhaktimanya same priyaha.
One who neither rejoices nor grieves, who neither laments nor desires, and who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things, such a devotee is very dear to me.
Samah shatrau cha mitre cha tatha manapamanayo shitoshna sukha duhkeshu samasanga vivarjita tulya nindastutir mauni santushto yena kenachit aniketastira matir bhaktiman me priyo naraha.
One who is equal to friends and enemies, who is equipoised in honor and dishonor, heat and cold, happiness and distress, fame and infamy, who is always free from contaminating association, always silent and satisfied with anything, who doesn't care for any residence, who is fixed in knowledge, and who is engaged in devotional service. Such a person is very dear to me.
Ye tu dharmamritam idam yatoktam paryupasate shraddhadana matparama bhaktastetiva me priyaha.
Those who follow this imperishable path of devotional service and who completely engage themselves with faith, making me the supreme goal, are very, very dear to me. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai.
So, first of all, we weren't prepared to say anything, as we were hoping that we'd be able to listen to Maharaj. So please forgive us if we seem a bit disorganized, and bless us that we may be able to glorify Lord Shiva in a proper way, given that tomorrow is his day, Shivaratri. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, the 4th canto, there is a story of King Prachinabarhi and his sons, the Prachetas. The king, Prachinabarhi, sends his sons, the Prachetas, to the forest to do penances in order to become fit to inherit his kingdom. And so, this story, it's being told by Maitreya Muni to Vidura. Vidura is the uncle of the Pandavas, we all know from Mahabharata. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, this story is spoken in this conversation between Vidura and Maitreya. So read a few verses from this conversation and you'll get the idea from the translations. So this chapter is the 24th chapter of the 4th canto. We're starting from verse 16. This chapter is entitled Chanting the Songs Sung by Lord Shiva. So these verses that will be cited are basically parts of a song sung by Lord Shiva, glorifying Lord Vishnu. Vidura uvacha prachetasam grihite giritena yathasit patisangama yad utaha harapritas tanno brahman vadartavat. Vidura asked Maitreya, "My dear Brahmanas, why did the Prachetas meet Lord Shiva on the way? Please tell me how the meeting happened, how Lord Shiva became pleased with them, and how he instructed them. Certainly, such talks are important, and I wish that you please be merciful upon me and describe them." So we'll read the translations for the other verses. The great sage Vidura continued, "O best of the Brahmanas, it is very difficult for the living entities encaged within this material body to have personal contact with Lord Shiva." So that's a very important statement. I'll repeat it again. It is very difficult for living entities, like us, encaged within the material body to have personal contact or direct contact with Lord Shiva. Even great sages who have no material attachments do not contact him, despite their always being absorbed in meditation to attain his personal contact. Lord Shiva is the most powerful Devata, second only to Lord Vishnu. He is self-sufficient. Although he has nothing to aspire for in the material world, for the benefit of those in the material world, he is always busily engaged everywhere and is accompanied by his dangerous energies like Goddess Kali and Goddess Durga. The sage Maitreya continued, "My dear Vidura, because of their pious nature, all the sons of Prachinna Bari very seriously accepted the words of their father with heart and soul." This is referring to his instructions to go to the forest. "And with these words on their heads, they went towards the west to execute their father's orders. While traveling, the Prachetas happened to see a great reservoir of water which seemed almost as big as the ocean. The water of this lake was so calm and quiet that it seemed like the mind of a great soul, and its inhabitants, the aquatics, appeared very peaceful and happy to be under the protection of such a watery reservoir. In that great lake, there were different types of lotus flowers. Some of them were bluish, and some of them were red. Some of them grew at night, some of them in the day, and some, like the Indivara lotus, in the evening. Combined together, the lotus flowers filled the lake so that the lake appeared to be like a great mine of such flowers. Consequently, on the shores there were swans and cranes, Charvaka and Karandavara, and other beautiful water birds standing about. There were various trees and creepers on all sides of the lake, and there were mad bumblebees humming all about them. The trees appeared to be very jolly due to the sweet humming of the bumblebees, and the saffron, which was contained in the lotus flowers, was being thrown into the air. These all created such an atmosphere that it appeared as though a festival were taking place there. The sons of the king became very much amazed when they heard vibrations from various drums and kettle drums along with other orderly musical sounds pleasing to the ear. The Prachetas were fortunate to see Lord Shiva, the chief of the Devatas, emerging from the water with his associates. His bodily luster was just like molten gold. His throat was bluish, and he had 3 eyes, which looked very mercifully upon his devotees. He was accompanied by many musicians who were glorifying him. As soon as the Prachetas saw Lord Shiva, they immediately offered their obeisances in great amazement and fell down at the lotus feet of the Lord.
Hare Krishna. So this is Srimad Bhagavatam. If you ever want to have a glimpse of understanding of what Srimad Bhagavatam is, this is the idea that this is a conversation between Maitreya and Vidura, for example, where Maitreya and Vidura, while conversing, questioning and answering, they reached the level of discussing about the sons of King Prachinabharisat. And while discussing that, they reached to the point of how the boys were blessed to see Lord Shiva, which you already heard that it is not that easy for anyone to see Lord Shiva. But just see what why I pause to make this point. Just see how detailed it is that in this conversation they are narrating the scene. What was the scene that they, the boys, reached this lake, and the description of the lake, and more so the description of Lord Shiva. Hardly we would have ever get a description of Lord Shiva anything close to this, and this is Srimad Bhagavatam. His clothing, his features, his, everything, how he looks and his throat and everything is described. And this is coming directly, you may say, from the Pratyechas who was there. So as we go along, in a few, maybe one or two more verses, you will hear directly the song sung by Lord Shiva to the Pratyechas. Continue.
Lord Shiva became very pleased with the Prachetas because generally Lord Shiva is the protector of the pious persons and persons of gentle behavior. Being very much pleased with the princes, he began to speak as follows.
So you cannot be a ruffian and please Lord Shiva. Some of us, people they're fond of worshipping Lord Shiva and think that, he is easy to please, but also he is easily disturbed. So if someone does not follow strictly and live in the mood of goodness, trying to please Lord Shiva can be counterproductive.
So this verse is spoken by Lord Shiva. Shri Rudra Uvacha Yuyam Vedishada Putra Viditam Vaschikirshritam Anugrahaya Bhadram Va Evam Me Darshanam Kritam. Lord Shiva said, "You are all the sons of King Prachinabharhi. I wish you all good fortune. I also know what you're going to do, and therefore I am visible to you just to show my mercy upon you."
So just think, the Lord comes, and said to any one of us, all good fortune. All good fortune. And that he have come to show us his mercy. So one of the important thing about the Pratyechas was the loving reciprocation. The brothers' cooperation among themselves would have attract the blessings of Lord Shiva, and later on also the blessings of Lord Vishnu, where Lord Vishnu himself would have also spoken to the Pratyechas and said, due to your cooperation and loving affection among yourselves, that I am pleased to give you this benediction.
Ya param ramhasa sakshat triguna jiva samjitat bhagavantam vasudevam prapanna sa priyohime. Lord Shiva continued, any person who is surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, the controller of everything, material nature as well as the living entity, is actually very dear to me. A person, will continue translations. A person who executes his occupational duty properly for 100 births becomes qualified to occupy the post of Brahma. And if he becomes more qualified, he can approach Lord Shiva. A person who is directly surrendered to Lord Krishna or Vishnu in an unalloyed devotional service is immediately promoted to the spiritual planets. Lord Shiva and other devatas attain these planets after the destruction of this material world.
So see the difference? That a living entity who surrendered unto the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna or Vishnu, even in this life or the end of after quitting this body, they can go back to the eternal world, the Vaikuntha planets. However, Lord Brahma and all other great personality, devatas, devis and devatas, they have a duty to perform, they cannot leave. So they will have to wait until the destruction of this universe in order to get an opportunity to go back.
You're all devotees of the Lord, and as such I appreciate that you are as respectable as the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. I know in this way that the devotees also respect me, and that I am very dear to them. Thus no one can be as dear to the devotees as I am. Now I shall chant one mantra which is not only transcendental, pure and auspicious, but is the best prayer for anyone who is aspiring to attain the ultimate goal of life. When I chant this mantra, please hear it carefully and attentively. The great sage Maitreya continued, out of his causeless mercy, the exalted personality Lord Shiva, a great devotee of Lord Narayana, continued to speak to the king's sons who were standing with folded hands. Lord Shiva addressed the Supreme Personality of Godhead with the following prayer. Jitam ta'atma vidvarya swastaye swastirastu me bhavattaradhasarad radham sarvasma atmane nama. O Supreme Personality of Godhead, all glories unto you. You are most exalted of all realized souls. Since you are always auspicious for the self-realized, I wish that you be auspicious for me. You are worshipable by virtue of the all-perfect instructions you give. You are the Super Soul. Therefore, I offer my obeisances unto you, the Supreme Living Being.
So that's an example for all of us also, how we approach the Supreme Lord. First of all, we glorify Him. We glorify His exalted quality. And then within that, we pray for His protection, as Lord Shiva are doing here, or on behalf of those who we are praying for.
Namaha pankajanabhaya bhuta sukshmendriyatmane vasudevaya shantaya kutasthaya swarochishe. O Lord, my Lord, you are the origin of creation by virtue of the lotus flower which sprouts from your navel. You are the supreme controller of the senses and the sense objects, and you are also the all-pervading Vasudev. You are most peaceful, and because of your self-illuminated existence, you are not disturbed by the 6 kinds of transformations. My dear Lord, you are the origin of all subtle of the subtle material ingredients, master of all integration,
as well as the master of all disinterrogation, and the predominating deity named Sankarsana, and the master of all intelligence known as the predominating deity Pradyumna. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you.
My Lord, as the supreme directing deity known as Aniruddha, You are the master of the senses and the mind. I therefore offer my obeisances unto you again and again. You are known as Ananta as well as Sankarshan because of your ability to destroy the whole creation by the blazing fire from your mouth. My Lord, O Aniruddha, you are the authority by which the doors of the higher planetary systems and liberation are opened. You are always within the pure heart of the living entity. Therefore, I offer my obeisances unto you. You are the possessor of semen which is like gold, and thus, in the form of fire, you help the Vedic sacrifices, beginning with Chaturhotra. Therefore, I offer my obeisances unto you. My Lord, you are the provider of the Pitrilokas, as well as the Devatas. You are the predominating deity of the moon and the master of all three Vedas. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you because you are the original source of satisfaction for all living entities. My dear Lord, you are the gigantic universal form which contains all the individual bodies of the living entities. You are the maintainer of the three worlds, and as such, you maintain the mind, senses, body, and air of life within them. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you.
So if we can follow a little the prayers, the song sung by Lord Shiva, is that he started out by offering his respectful obeisances directly to Lord Krishna in the form of Vishnu or Narayana, but then one after another he started to offer his obeisances to the different expansions of the Lord. And what those expansion means, or they are the predominating deities of different aspects of the creation or maintenance of the material universe. So when we say that, Lord Vishnu as the maintainer of the universe, Lord Brahma is the creator, Lord Vishnu is the maintainer, Lord Shiva is the destroyer. This is the mood that Lord Shiva offering his prayers to Lord Vishnu, to Krishna, in this mood that to portray how he maintains the universe. As we all know, creation and destruction is easy, but maintenance is terrible. It is not that easy. Maintenance takes quite a bit more. That is why Lord Vishnu himself takes the responsibilities of maintenance.
My dear Lord, by expanding your transcendental vibrations, you reveal the actual meaning of everything. You are the all-pervading sky within and without, and you are the ultimate goal of pious activities, executed both within this material world and beyond it. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances again and again unto you. My dear Lord, you are the viewer of the results of pious activities. You are the inclination, disinclination, and the resultant activities. You are the cause of the miserable conditions of life caused by irreligion, and therefore you are death. I offer you my respectful obeisances. My dear Lord, you are the topmost of all bestowers of all benediction, and the oldest and supreme enjoyer amongst all enjoyers. You are the master of all the world's metaphysical philosophy. You are the supreme cause of all causes, Lord Krishna. You are the greatest of all religious principles, the supreme mind, and you have a brain which is never checked by any condition. Therefore, I repeatedly offer my obeisances unto you. My dear Lord, you are the supreme controller of the worker, sense activities, and the results of sense activities, karma. Therefore, you are the controller of the body, mind, and senses. You are also the supreme controller of egotism, known as Rudra. You are the source of knowledge and the activities of the Vedic injunctions. My dear Lord, I wish to see you exactly in the form that you I wish to see you exactly in the form that your very dear devotees worship. You have many other forms, but I wish to see your form that is especially liked by the devotees. Please be merciful upon me and show me that form. For only that form, worshipped by all the devotees, can perfectly satisfy all the demands of the senses.
Who knows which form Lord Shiva is referring to? If you reflect on Bhagavad Gita, universal form, 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, after Krishna would have shown the universal form to Arjuna, what is it that Arjuna said? Which form he wanted to see?
Two-handed form?
Shama Sundara, the threefold bending form of Lord Krishna, holding the flute. Holding the flute in a threefold bending form, two-handed form. And Lord, that Arjuna, after showing the universal form, then Krishna showed a four-handed Vishnu form. And then Arjuna said, no, my dear Lord, I wanted to see that form that is dear to the devotees. And that is exactly what Lord Shiva is saying. That, my dear Lord, I want to see that most beautiful Shama Sundar, threefold bending form of yours.
The Lord's beauty resembles a dark cloud during the rainy season. As the rainfall glistens, his bodily features also
Lord Shiva
glisten.
is describing Krishna's beauty now.
Indeed, he is the sum total of all beauty. The Lord has 4 arms and an exquisitely beautiful face with eyes like lotus petals, a beautiful highly raised nose, a mind-attracting smile, a beautiful forehead, and equally beautiful and fully decorated ears. The Lord is super excellently beautiful on account of his open and merciful smile and sidelong glance upon his devotees. His black hair is curly, and his garments, waving in the wind, appear like flying saffron pollen from lotus flowers. His glittering earrings, shining helmet, bangles, garland, ankle bells, waist belt, and various other bodily ornaments, combined with conch shell, disc, club, and lotus flower to increase the natural beauty of the Kaustuba pearl on his chest. The Lord has shoulders like a lion's. Upon these shoulders are garlands, necklaces, epaulets, and all of these are always glittering. Besides these, there is the beauty of the Kaustuba mani, pearl, on the dark chest of the Lord. And on the dark chest of the Lord, there are streaks named Srivatsa, which are signs of the goddess of fortune. The glittering of these streaks excels the beauty of golden streaks on a gold testing stone. Indeed, such beauty defeats a gold testing stone. The Lord's abdomen is beautiful due to the 3 ripples in the flesh. Being so round, his abdomen resembles the leaf of a banyan tree, and when he exhales and inhales, the movement of the ripples appears very, very beautiful. The coils within the navel of the Lord are so deep that it appears that the entire universe sprouted out of it and yet again wishes to go back. So while reading this description, I was just thinking that many times we hear that the ultimate goal is to attain the Lord, which is or God, which many persons describe as being unmanifested, having no form, and we should meditate on that supreme light, or that light or
Impersonal feature.
That impersonal feature is everything. That is the ultimate goal. And that God has no form. But keeping in mind this pastime, the Prachetas were sent to meditate on Lord Vishnu, or the Supreme Absolute Truth. Lord Shiva, and there is no better authority than Lord Shiva describes to them in such detail the form of the Lord. going into such detail as describing his abdomen, the ripples on his abdomen, everything, in such detail describing the form of the Lord. Now, Lord Shiva would not waste someone's time by meditating on something that is not of substance. He wouldn't tell them to go and meditate on the form if he knew that the form wasn't everything. So the fact that he is describing this form to the Prachetas, who are to then go and meditate on Lord Vishnu, means that the form of the Lord is all that we need, or is the source of everything. Right?
Additionally, also, I was thinking that people want to know, well, where you get those ideas from to carve the deities, carve the Murti form of the Lord. So, if you want to carve a form of Lord Vishnu, here Lord Shiva is describing it for you. So you can follow the directions of Lord Shiva, and you can know exactly how to carve, and there are much more detailed description in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, how to carve the deities of the Lord. Another point also to note, what is real conversation, what is real discussions. So here the Prachetas and Lord Shiva met. They weren't gossiping. They were doing the most important discussion, important business, you may say. Most of the time we reach today what is the news, what sports, what movie, or some people get together and discuss business. All these, talks goes on. Some of them may be important. But see when saintly person reach, what took place. Continue.
So this verse that we just read, I was just thinking I should read this line again. The coils within the navel of the Lord are so deep that it appears that the entire universe sprouted out of it and yet again wishes to go back. So that's an interesting description of the Lord's navel. The lower part of the Lord's waist is dark and covered with yellow garments, with a belt bedecked with golden embroidery work. His symmetrical lotus feet and the calves, thighs, and joints of his legs are extraordinarily beautiful. Indeed, the Lord's entire body appears to be well built. And it's also interesting to note that many times paintings are made of the Lord with abs and all of these, six-pack abs and all of these things. But it's interesting that Lord Shiva never mentioned this. But yet, the Lord is described as all-powerful. So that's just something to note. My dear Lord, Lord Shiva continues, your two lotus feet are so beautiful that they appear like two blossoming petals of the lotus flower which grows during the autumn season. Indeed, the nails of your lotus feet emanate such a great effulgence that they immediately dissipate all darkness in the heart of a conditioned soul. My dear Lord, kindly show me that form of yours which always dissipates all kinds of darkness in the heart of a devotee. My dear Lord, you are the supreme spiritual master of everyone. Therefore, all conditioned souls covered in the darkness of ignorance can be enlightened by you as the spiritual master. My dear Lord, those who desire to purify their existence must always engage in meditation upon your lotus feet, as described above. Those who are serious about executing their occupational duties or dharma and who want freedom from fear must take to this process of bhakti yoga. My dear Lord, the king in charge of the heavenly kingdom is also desirous of obtaining the ultimate goal of life, devotional service. Similarly, you are the ultimate destination of those who identify themselves with you, Aham Brahmasmi. However, it is very difficult for them to attain you, whereas a devotee can easily attain your lordship.
So it's quite some prayers, quite some verses, so we will try to go to the ending part of it. We'll continue from text 70.
Therefore, O sons of the King, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, is situated in everyone's heart. He is also situated within your heart. Therefore, chant the glories of the Lord and always meditate upon Him continuously. My dear princess, in the form of a prayer, I have delineated the yoga system of chanting the holy name. All of you should take this important stotra within your minds and promise to keep it in order to become great sages. By acting silently like a great sage and by giving attention and reverence, you should practice this method. This prayer was first spoken to us by Lord Brahma, the master of all creators. The creators, headed by Bhrigu, were instructed in these prayers because they wanted to create. When all the Prajapatis were ordered to create by Lord Brahma, we chanted these prayers in praise of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and became completely free from all ignorance. Thus, we were able to create different types of living entities. A devotee of Lord Krishna, whose mind is always absorbed in Him, who with great attention and reverence chants this stotra, will achieve the greatest perfection of life without delay. In this material world, there are different types of achievement, but of all of them, the achievement of knowledge is considered to be the highest because one can cross the ocean of Niscians only on the boat of knowledge. Otherwise, this ocean is impassable. Although rendering devotional service to the Supreme Lord, to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and worshipping Him are very difficult, if one vibrates or simply reads this stotra composed and sung by me, he will very easily be able to invoke the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the dearmost objective of all auspicious benedictions. A human being who sings this song, sung by me, can please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such a devotee, being fixed in the Lord's devotional service, can acquire whatever he wants from the Supreme Lord. A devotee who rises early in the morning and with folded hands chants these prayers sung by Lord Shiva and gives facility to others to hear them certainly becomes free from all bondage to fruitive activities. My dear sons of the King, the prayers I have recited to you are meant for pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Super Soul. I advise you to recite these prayers, which are as effective as great austerities. In this way, when you are mature, your life will become successful, and you will certainly achieve all your desired objectives without fail.
Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki. And then you can imagine these are just the translation. You can imagine the Bhaktivedanta purports to these texts, to these verses. Wonderful, wonderful glorifications and descriptions are there. So thank you very much. It is time for the Artik ceremony. We humbly request everyone to please stand for the Artik. Maintain your social distance. You can come up a little closer to the altar, both sides, but not in front of the cameras. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki, Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Nitai Gauda Premandi, Haribo.
Jaya Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra Nitai Gaura Chandra
Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya. Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya.
Jaya Paramakaruna Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Paramakaruna Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra जय श्री श्री परम कांताय गौर चंद्र की जय। नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने। नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चारि शतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरि गौर भक्तवृंद।
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरि गौर
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरि गौर भक्तवृंद।
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरि गौर भक्तवृंद।
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरि गौर भक्तवृंद।
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरि गौर भक्तवृंद।
हरे कृष्ण Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Parama Karuna, Jaya Nitai Gora Chandra, Jaya Parama Karuna, Jaya Nitai Gora Chandra.
Parama Karuna, Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra, Parama Karuna, Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra.
Jaya Panchatatva, Jaya Panchatatva, Jaya Panchatatva, Jaya Panchatatva.
Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva, Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada,
Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakacarya Shtatar Sada Shishrimad. His Divine Grace is Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON VVT founder Acharya is Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakacarya Shtatar Sada Shishrimad. His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Thakur Ki Jai. Anantakuri Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shama Kund Radha Kund Gir Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Purushottam Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Shri Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Maya Jamuna Maya Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Srimati Tulsidev Maharani Ki Jai. Shri Godar Harinama Sankirtan Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada's Transcendental Books Distribution Ki Jai. Brihat Mridanga Ki Jai. Shri Shri Paramakarntai Gaur Chandra Ki Jai. Samaveda Gaur Bhaktavrinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Parimanandi. All glories to the assembly of devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembly of devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembly of devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale. Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pachadini. Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Bhashachari Shatarini. So Hare Krishna, you can please have your seats as we'll continue with the chanting of the Nishinga Dev Pranam.
Namaste Narashinghaya. Prahlada Lada Daine.
Prahlada Lada
Hiranyakashipu Vakshaha.
हिरण्यकशिपुर्भक्षः शिलातनकानकालयिने ईतो नृसिंह परतो नृसिंह ईतो नृसिंह परतो नृसिंह यतो यतो यामि ततो नृसिंह बाहिर्नृसिंह हृदये नृसिंह
सिंहमादिं शरणं प्रपदे
नरसिंहमरिं शरणं प्रपदे
तव करकमलवरे नका अद्भुतसिंहं ललिता हिरण्यकशिपु तानो भृङ्गा केशवदिता नरहरिरूप जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
तव करकमलवरे नका अद्भुतसिंहं ललिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गा केशवरिता नरहरिरूप जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे नृसिंहरे जय नृसिंहरे नृसिंहरे जय नृसिंहरे
प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज
जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज
श्री सिंहदेव भगवान की जय प्रहलाद महाराज की जय।
Hare Krishna. Shri Shri Paramakarna Nitai Gaura Chandra ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. So I'd like to take this opportunity once again to thank each and every one of you to being here with us for this morning Sunday Love Feast here at the ISKCON of Guyana Hare Krishna Study Center. I think other than the first Sunday Love Feast for the year 2022, this is the first time that, other than Raju's wedding, of course, which wasn't in the temple room, that we're having so much individuals or devotees gathering here. I was imagining that leading up to, of course, Shivratri, then leading up to Mahaprabhu's appearance, which will be Pagwa or Holi, and then Navratri, Ram Navami, by then we'll have a packed temple room. So let's see, Raju and others will get the bus up and running. I don't see Ranal, but hopefully Ranal will be the man to behind the wheel, as they're saying. So we hope that we can get the 50-seater bus running, up and running from Mahaika, coming down to the temple every Sunday morning, along with whoever else. Haribol, thank you. Along with whoever else will come with their individual vehicles, of course. And then we still have the small bus there to come some way from Grove Diamond area to bring people to the temple every Sunday morning. And in saying that, that will means that we all learn to manage ourselves where coronavirus is concerned. So we'll have to take full responsibility to manage ourselves nicely. the temple here are organizing in such a way, because again on the ground floor, the Bhojan hall, the Prashadam hall, and around the temple we have big space. We are going to do over the yard at the temple here, the courtyard, the little courtyard that we have. So a person can even sit anywhere around, and social distancing, they can take their Bhojan. Or the arrangement is there that you can take it away also. They are boxing it off. Our box available with bags so that you can take away your Bhojan, go home and eat. Of course, that is a little tough one for me if I am living 10 miles away from the temple, because it's lunchtime, and I will be in a terrible mood, lunchtime to leave here, and then I have to travel another 10 minutes to eat. So that might be a little difficult one for me. So please don't torture me, Please give me my prashadam. We honor Krishna in the form of prashadam. So as was highlighted during the program, that this is our pre-Shivratri program. Of course, ISKCON calendar have Shivratri for Tuesday. The local Panditai Hindu calendar have Shivratri for tomorrow. So tomorrow will be a grand day for us as usual, Hare Krishna Study Center. I think this will be 15 years since we participate in Mahashivratri celebration at the Kovanjan Ashram. So from 5 in the morning, the boys will be there to have an inaugurating 1-hour kirtan for the 24-hour kirtan that they normally have there throughout, from 6 in the morning till 6 next morning. Or more so tomorrow afternoon from 4 going to 10, 11 in the night. It will be heavy kirtan. One of our boys, Devendra, who was staying there, he was telling me that you can hear the song, the horn that they have on top of the buildings, that you can hear the kirtan tail at Raju's house and more. So Raju, when you go home, you'll have to test that out. So anyway, there will be kirtan, devotees will be cooking and selling prashadam throughout the day, so there's a lot of help that is needed to go there and set up. Our booths are there with Prabhupada books and prashadam and other paraphernalia from the gift shop. Along with the kirtan will go on there. Cooking and distribution of prashadam will go on here from early in the morning. In fact, cooking is going on right now. We already start to bake and make sweets and all that. So even if you have a few minutes after this program, you can assist in some way or the other. And then tomorrow morning, those of you who can assist throughout the day, or at least maybe for a few hours, even in the morning, you'll be more than welcome to render some service to their Lordship, Sri Sri Paramakarna Nitai Gaurachandra, in the form of some fundraising, or go in and set up the booths across there to distribute Prabhupada books. This morning, Sunday Love Feast was sponsored by the Singh family, Raju and his mother and brothers and sisters, in honor of what would have been the late Mr. Singh's birthday. A few days ago would have been his birthday. That is the father of Raju and the husband of course, Mataji. So they took the opportunity to sponsor the Sunday program in memory and in honor of their father. I'd like to all humbly request everyone to please at least raise your right hands and let us chant one Mahamantra, that wherever the soul may be at this time, he'll receive the full blessings of the holy name of the Lord. Together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. And just in case you missed it, there was an entire chapter of Bhagavad Gita. The 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita was recited on behalf of Mr. Singh, the late Mr. Singh, and also for the brother-in-law of our dear and only God brother here, His Grace Parmanand Madhava Prabhu, whose brother-in-law passed away just a few last Monday, and Tuesday will be the cremation. So just before you go for prasadam, in the meantime they're getting ready. We'd like to take a few minutes of your time. We are going to offer a few minutes kirtan for the brother-in-law of our dear Parmanand Prabhu. So Parmanand Prabhu, you can join us here. Vilas Mataji also, if you want, you can join. Where's Vilas? You're hiding? And I was just told that the daughters, I saw some strange faces, but I wasn't sure. So I was just told that the daughters of the departed and the son-in-law are here also, joining us this satsang this morning. So you can sit. Move the mirror down, then you can sit. So, what is his name?
Jagru Prasad. Everyone, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I'm saying to you that we are here today, and my brother-in-law is my eldest sister husband, has passed away Monday gone, and his cremation would be Tuesday at 2 o'clock at Good Hope Seashore, Good Hope cremation site. And so we are here at the temple, and the temple would be officiating his cremation. Thank you very much.
So everyone can join us, especially the children can join us in this offering. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much. Thank the Kirtanias. So I'd like to invite everyone to please go down the stairs, enter into the Prasadam hall. You can wash your hand or sanitize your hand if you like. And as we said, if you want to honor Krishna Prasadam Bhojan here, there are arrangement for that. Otherwise, if you want to take it, there's also arrangement for that. So I'd like to thank each and every one of you very much to attend this morning. Thank Raju and Mom and everyone to being here with us this morning, the entire family. We'd like to also appreciate the children of the departed to take the time off to be here to offer some prayers to your father. Thank you very much. We have a few grains given ceremony to perform, which will be privately done among feeding the forest grains to 2 babies this morning. So while you're going to honor Prasadam downstairs, the babies will be honoring Kheer Prasadam for the first time. Hare Krishna.